The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12. Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Tuesday, guys. How are you? Welcome into the Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book, and the same on Twitter and X, replayed on Sports Grid Television and SiriusXM channel 159. And yes, guys, we are early. Because we got a little breaking news. We got two breaking news stories here at the top that we're going to get to.
Yeah.
Casey Hudson's going to come on by from Nesson here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Our boy Raheem is down in New Orleans. He's going to pop in from the Ringer, talking some props and plays and other fun stuff. But how are you on a Tuesday, Dave?
Great. Full slate of hockey. Somehow did not make the rundown. No problem. That's all right.
No one's
There's a lot of college basketball. You know it, JPC the fourth. This is a Stevie Y tarp. There's no hotter team in hockey right now than the Detroit Red Wings. Pick them tonight against the Seattle Kraken. We'll get to that at the end of the show. In Bet It or Book It, maybe. That's why we got Casey on today. Hopefully, she takes a shift, joins us, and talks about she moved up to Boston. I thought it was apropos. We get her back on the show. She's doing some bean pot tournament prep work. Perrault, you heard about the bean pot thing, right? You know
of course.
about that?
It's Monday, right? Finals Monday.
Yeah, that's a big hockey tournament in Boston. For you non-hockey heads.
BU, BC, Harvard, Northeastern.
There's a lot of there's been another trade in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know if that's a big deal or not. There's a big game tonight in the NBA. Some would say bigger than others. Some would say the NBA is not big at all. A lot of people say a lot of things. If you have something to say, leave a comment on the YouTube channel, the @ symbol, Boston versus the Book. It's completely free. Say what you want. Be who you are. Just say it with your chest if you're going to say it, please, because it helps the algorithm. We're all searching for the algorithm to get it going. People keep telling me, you got to have more engagement. You got to have more people involved in the show. We do the show every week, every day around this time. And today's bingo card. Did you see the bingo card for today?
I glanced at it quickly.
It's also available in our Discord channel.
Oh,
we do have a Discord channel.
We do.
Yeah, it's just go to thebvbshow.com right there. There's a link, get you right in the Discord channel. Our man SoCal DJ's making sure that stays alive and that works. Communicate in there. We're always available right there on the Twitter. You can see our Twitter handles right there. Sports BK Consig and Sports Talk Matt right over there. The show is at Boston versus the Book. We appreciate all the tagging, all of the notices, all of the comments. Try to answer as much as we can. Just keep it going, boys.
So we got two breaking news stories at the top, and let's start with our friend Alex Kane, who came on yesterday from Sport Trade.
He did,
and it might have been something we said. I don't know, it's no more.
Oh no,
they were gonna do it, and they ain't doing it anymore. Robinhood yanks Super Bowl betting contracts after regulators push back. The CFTC asked the brokerage to stop offering customer access to contracts, warning they might be illegal, blurring of financial markets and gambling, which I don't know. Maybe there was a show yesterday that had about a 45-minute conversation asking that exact conversation. I don't know how many people in this space were having that conversation but us, Dave. But did somebody get a dime dropped on them?
I know nothing. I see nothing. We had Alex on the show. We talked. I thought it was an outstanding interview. I thought we laid it out pretty clear as to what was going on and what could be going on. And then literally 5 minutes ago, right before we were going to start the show, we got this text and said, hey, I got it, and said, did you see this? There it is right there. It's in the Wall Street Journal. I don't have you guys ever heard of that. Kind of a big publication. Robinhood yanks Super Bowl betting contracts after regulators pushback. The CFTC asked the brokerage to stop offering customer access to contracts, warning they might be illegal blurring of financial markets and gambling.
Dave didn't hear
That
a
looks
single word.
drastically different than yesterday's
Right.
headline that was it said Robinhood allows bets
Yes.
on the Super Bowl LIX, which apparently was a big hit that I said LIX instead of 59. Yes, I knew LIX was 59. Who doesn't know the Roman numerals? I just like to say LIX. That's all.
I think what's fascinating about this whole thing is if you were one of the people that put the $1.3 million into the marketplace with Robinhood and Kalshi to make this go, that you're now having to make a determination as to whether or not you want to see this thing through fruition. And you probably thought you were getting into a marketplace that was going to go up and down. There was going to be some value. If you took it at -1.5, it may have gone to 2.5. You may have been able to play the sides because chances are you were going to buy multiple plays and have multiple positions in that market heading towards the Super Bowl. We asked the question yesterday that I think Alex Kane and everybody else was asking the same point. How are you doing this and have it not be considered sports gambling? The public clearly thinks it's gambling. The media is reporting it as such, that Kalshi and Robinhood were taking bets. That was the headline.
Yeah.
Taking bets on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they said it. And
I mean, they put that, Kalshi's own language, like if we were building a case against Kalshi as to if they said we are not gambling, I have pictures in my phone of literal huge billboards that said bet on the election. That's how Kalshi marketed in Las Vegas. They use the words bet on the election. It was right in the middle of the busiest intersection in the state, right by the Cosmopolitan, huge billboard. Kalshi had it right outside the Bellagio. You got the whole up and down market between the two candidates. And it clearly said, Kalshi, come bet on the election.
Yeah.
So you can't even say, well, we're not betting. Hey, we're not betting. It's simply just commodities trading, not gambling. Your own marketing material is claiming you're betting.
Gonna have to get a license, huh?
Well, that would be the only fair way of doing it. I mean, Alex Kane is the CEO of a company that has gone to multiple states and paid multiple states expenses for licenses. And so why? And he said it, I feel like a schmuck. He said it, I feel like a sucker. To your question, you're like, do you feel like a sucker? Because how can you not? If you're in the space and you wrote these checks to do business legally, if you're paying the tax rate that's being asked of you to pay. And now some states are trying to double the tax rate again. We're hearing all that this week about states and new laws about doubling tax percentages. Well, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you're going to just allow this company to come in to operate in all 50 states. You just can't allow it. Like it can't go down. And the idea that in the do you have the story in front of you?
I don't.
Okay. Well, the quote you read to me off the air was fascinating because they're like, we were working with the CFTC and we're blindsided by this. We didn't think that there was going to be any problems. Which leads me to believe when I read that, I read that and go, well, that came from somebody outside the CFTC. Somebody picked up the phone, like a Senate majority leader or a Senate subcommittee head. Somebody picked up the phone and said, what are you guys doing?
What's going on?
Because this is bad.
This is bad. Well, again, we said it yesterday. You asked for forgiveness, not permission. And they did. And now they aren't doing it. So
for this one market now. They just pulled the big ticket item, the Super Bowl. Like they're still doing it in other things. They're still taking all sorts of wagers. Oh yeah. On all sorts of things. Oh yeah. They just pulled down the Super Bowl because it's the big, that's the flashy light. They pulled that down. But I mean, that's just one market they pulled down. You can bet on everyone's confirmation hearing right now. You can bet on all sorts of things on Kalshi. So they're just taking that one little piece down.
So they have other sports up?
I believe so, yeah.
Somebody
they have other
check
sports
if you can on that right now.
They have the other sports. And yeah, I think you're right, Butchie. I think they are going to go after Kalshi. I think they're going to, but the problem is Don Jr.'s on their board. So how aggressive will the DOJ get, knowing that the president's son is an advisor to Kalshi? So that's going to be fascinating to see how that winds up going, because they made the strategic move, to insulate themselves for what may happen. Now, the Department of Justice, you're right, Butchie. The Department of Justice, generally speaking, is not interested in government control and or protection. They'll go after anybody they think is breaking the law. But you have to define this as breaking the law. Like, we have to define what gambling is, do we not?
I mean, again,
what is gambling? Like, what is sports gambling?
We're still trying to figure that out. It hasn't been, there's not one definition. This will tell you whether it's a game of skill or a game of chance. It's amazing the rhetoric is still going on. It's been going on for a long time. And I don't think do you feel like it's any closer to being defined?
No, but I feel like there's a gigantic need for it. I think that we're getting into a position where the states are going to start to say to the federal government, hold on a second. So you're telling me that through semantics, through the language in which a house rule is written, I can circumvent every law and every jurisdiction that you guys have or I have paid for I have a gaming control board that I have employed these 6-7 people in my state. They're making big money to go and regulate the state. And you're telling me that all I got to do is rewrite my law or rewrite my house rules, and I don't got to pay anything. I don't have to pay $10 million for a license. I don't have to pay you 30% on anything for taxes. I don't have to do anything. I can take all the money out of the state and never have to answer to you, the gaming board, ever. Like, that's a major problem for these states. And it's not just a red state or a blue state. It's every state that's legal. Over 30 of them now are legal. And this type of thing says, well, we don't need to listen to any of you. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And we're in all 50 states. We're in them all. Like, we're in California, Texas, Florida. Hey, Seminole Tribe. Good luck. We got your entire state now. They're not going to stand for that.
Yeah, I would think not. But again, they did it, and then they have to be pulled back. So we'll see. Stay tuned. It's a flowing situation. And a lot of people are curious. I wondered, do they have contracts on who's going to win the NL West? Because Santana already did his job and came in here. He's the Dodgers are still minus 380 to win the NL West. I don't know if they have that, Santana. I'm not sure. But thank you, as always, for being here. Everybody has a job on this team, the BBB Brigade, and Santana's is that. You're in, you're done. So if you need to go, like Era just checked in, hello, before I go to work. Everybody checks in. This is great. Era, that Dodger jersey's looking great in that avatar. Thank you for being here. I don't know, man. Speaking of taxes, though, did you see Ohio propose double?
That's what I meant. Yeah. And Maryland proposed a bill today. Thanks to CBW for that. Maryland's trying to outlaw sweepstakes gambling in their state. So states are starting to wake up. They're starting they're starting to see what's going on.
They're issuing those cease and desist
orders
all over.
Saying no. Like, we aren't playing this. We aren't doing that. But the doubling of tax rates, again, it
I mean, it makes you feel like I tried to get in touch with JBJ, Joe Brennan, about, and I wanted to ask him to come on the show or talk about it if he could, to see, I said it to Alex yesterday because I said, if I was you, I would feel like a sucker. Do you feel like a sucker? I would ask Joe the same question about the tax rates in Ohio, because they told you this, You abided by the rules. You did this. You did everything they asked. And then they go, you know what?
Double it.
You guys might be doing too good, or you're not doing enough.
Yes.
Only the big guys are doing it. We're going to double it, and then you're out. Like,
I still think that Alex Kane's idea, he needs to be brought in front of every state capitol and legislature. Why isn't this handle based? Like, why isn't it based upon how much money you're handling and you're taking for how much tax you're going to pay? Like, this should be not a one-stop shop. Everyone pays the same rate. There should be a staggered, if you're a big boy, you're paying a different tax rate. That's what happens in this country. You make $1 million, you pay less than someone making 10,000. Like, it's a different.
Well, I mean, the hamburger joints, does McDonald's and Burger King pay the same as Whataburger?
For what do you mean? For taxes? Yes. So it's
hamburger joints.
Not every place taxes food. Not every state taxes food, but some states that do have sales tax.
I mean, that's just the business. Flat. It's an example. It's they're in the same business. DraftKings and FanDuel are in the same business as Prime Sports and Sport Trade and
so they're in the same business. Yeah, but I think
the tax rates are got to be different because we're
over
mom and pop business.
Just depends on what you're doing handle wise. Are you taking massive amounts of money, meaning you're making tons of money?
Does more in business? Should they pay more?
Technically, they do. Yeah. Technically, there's different corporate taxes, different tax brackets the corporation's in. There's different legal situations. So technically, not at the register, you're not paying the consumer's not paying a different price. Sales tax is sales tax across for everybody in every joint, every fast food joint's got it. But corporate McDonald's pays more taxes than mom and pop local shop, just based on what it is. So I just, in terms of
this is the legal portion of the show, boys and girls. For neither Matt nor myself are lawyers, and this is not legal advice. These are all alleged legal comments.
Ohio doesn't tax food. That's good. You shouldn't tax food. It's a poor tax.
Thank you, Sports Avenger.
When you tax food, you tax poor people. That's not.
Did you see this variance?
Of
FanDuel, Arizona is minus 480 on the Dodgers to win the NL West, and the Dodgers, One Star Golf said the Dodgers are minus 685. to win the West. I mean, geez, do you want to put up 685 to pick up 100 in late September?
Right. A bunch of months. Yeah, it's a go away price. The other breaking news affects here in Las Vegas, and I am absolutely beside myself that we're getting this. Canelo and Crawford's going to happen.
Yes.
This fight's on. This fight will be the first fight ever at Allegiant Stadium, which will piss off Dana White that he didn't get there. Because Dana White wanted to be the first one. He was the first one at the Sphere. He wasn't the first one now at Allegiant Stadium. This fight will happen at 168, and it will be for all of the belts for Canelo.
Do we have a date?
September 13th, I believe, is what we're looking at.
Opening weekend of the NFL?
It doesn't matter. It's Mexican Independence weekend. They don't care about the NFL.
I thought it's the week before. I hope it's the week before.
It's Mexican. It's always on. Canelo fights in Las Vegas on Mexican Independence weekend. So they don't care about the NFL. Like it makes.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just thinking for convenience sake to get around.
Oh, it's Saturday because the fight's gonna happen Saturday night. So even if it's a game on Sunday, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So it's a Saturday night fight.
Oh,
but I mean, this is. I give Crawford so much credit. He's moving up 2 weight classes to put his undefeated record on the line to fight Canelo in a place where he's going to be a heavy, maybe not the book, but cheering underdog. That's going to be 85% Canelo people in that building. And now it's not T-Mobile where it's like 19,000 to 1,000. It's more like, 65,000 to 10,000 at Allegiant Stadium. Damn. It's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. I'm such a big Bud Crawford fan. I absolutely love the guy. I can't wait to see how many of my people from Omaha come on out for this fight. But if you're a Bud Crawford fan, we haven't had a mega fight in a while here in Las Vegas. Right. And this is a mega fight. This is huge. I can't wait for this.
Well, CBW posted Canelo minus 205, Crawford plus 165. Tighten those up, Mason. What are you doing? Minus 205 plus 165. We don't need to make it that big of a spread. What the hell is that?
40-cent line.
Wow. All right, chat. Let's get involved early. Boxing heads, people. Christian Hastings just did it. Butchie said to get his ass beat.
I mean, look,
Crawford wins from
it's
Christian
Canelo.
Hastings, who wins
So
the fight.
Juice is not
boy.
wrong.
Oh, no.
The hope is that Canelo gets pushed, that Crawford's activity pushes him. Like, that's going to be the biggest, really interesting thing. And Crawford doesn't tire, and Crawford also doesn't get hit and has never been knocked out. You're talking about Canelo's left hook against Crawford's chin. When you move up 2 weight classes to 168, like, let's go. I mean, September can't get here fast enough. This is going to be an awesome, awesome fight. The undercard's going to be stacked because it has to be a stacked card from top to bottom. I mean, they're going to do, my gut tells me they're going to do a world tour, or at least some semblance of a world tour. LA, New York, maybe Mexico, to go and promote the holy hell out of this.
Okay.
But the problem is that Canelo's English is still not great, and Crawford does not talk. Remember, Bud Crawford doesn't like doing interviews, let alone selling fights. And that's always been the big knock on him, is that Bud does not talk trash.
Right.
Canelo really can't, because Canelo tries to, but Canelo's English is not great. So I cannot wait to see how this fight gets promoted and what this fight does, but it's going to be a monster.
No, Whitrock, I don't think either guy fights before the fight.
Oh, no. I'd be stunned. It's February.
Yeah.
No. Right. Yeah, you cut, can't heal. You get that's their only fight. So everybody's asking, does that mean Canelo is not fighting on Cinco de Mayo? Possibly. That's possible. And that would be crazy. So for Canelo not to fight in Vegas on Cinco de Mayo, because the belts don't really matter to make that super fight happen. That fight can happen if Canelo would have lost the belt, but that means he's going to fight a cupcake on Cinco de Mayo weekend here in Vegas. He'll just crush him. So similar. Remember that happened with Fury. He had the rematch scheduled, and then he got cut in the fight. He was fighting.
And it got postponed.
It got postponed.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully that's not going to happen here if Canelo does end up fighting on, because that was supposed to have been a cupcake for Fury, and it wasn't. He was lucky he had to come off the mat basically and win that fight to make sure his fight against Usyk happened the following, whatever it was, November, December, whatever it was.
I mean, Allegiant Stadium is very nice. Don't get me wrong, and we're not besmirching anything.
They're going to be like this big.
I just, why? Like,
money.
I know, and a lot of people will go and watch it on the screen just to be there.
I hope they cut it in half. I hope,
right.
We don't need the full. We don't need it to be like. I hope they cut it in half, and I hope they want it to be like 40,000 people, and so they cut the venue in half and do it like that versus having it be like 75,000 people in a full open bowl.
No, I don't want to see it like that. But again, we'll wait and see. It's fun to have a boxing hype talk. So outdoor Caesars fights were the best, Joe the Fat Panda. That would be something. But they're not doing this outside in September.
Didn't Tyson fight outside in Caesars once?
I don't know if he did or not. I mean, all those guys did. Hagler, Hearns was outside.
Hearns did.
Sugar Ray Leonard did. Roberto Duran did. Larry Holmes did. I mean, the fights were just they were the thing to watch when you were somewhere else thinking about fight weekends. So that'll be fun. That will be good.
First blush, big handle or no handle?
If it's in the beginning of September, it'll be excellent handle. It'll be good. This will be welcome back to the books. You know, a lot of people this Sunday will be their exit. You know, they won't be back until September. Hopefully you guys, if you're watching the show, you found other things that you like from the show. If you don't, then you only watch football or only watch us for the picks or the analysis or whatever you call it. That's fine. But I think it will be a big handle thing. Yeah, ridiculous.
Ring Magazine said it's a rehab season card featuring the blockbuster fight between Canelo and Crawford. It'll become the first boxing event to take place at Allegiant. Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020, multi-purpose dome, home of the Raiders, home of the Rebels. Venue has a capacity of 65,000 with the ability to expand to 71,835. Jeez, I can't figure that out. I can't see them doing that. Crawford's going to move up 2 weight classes from the junior middleweight limit of 154 to the super middleweight max of 168 from what will be his most difficult fight. Crawford is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo Alvarez is 62-2-2 with 39 knockouts.
My goodness.
I mean, Crawford is I'm so happy he gets his due here. I'm so happy for people to actually get to know Bud Crawford's career and what this guy has done, because so many of his fights have not been mega fights. They've been in Omaha. They've been awesome fights in Vegas, but they've been smaller. They haven't been at big venues against big name fighters with, his name splashed across the marquee. He may be the most talented boxer that you haven't heard of or haven't watched before in the history of boxing. I'm like, he's among the elite. He's among the best of all time in terms of footwork and his skill. He's just at a weird weight class and he doesn't talk. So he's not a typical boxer where he wants to throw the bravado at you and show how good he is and how strong he is and everything else. Butchie said it'll be stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money.
Will be. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be good.
I hope so. Will I be there? Yes. Yes, I will be there. 100% I will be there. If we're going back to the days before COVID, COVID killed a lot of crap. Okay. The one thing I hate that it killed all of the pre-fight hype parades. We used to have, before every big fight, when I was working in radio, we would be on Radio Row for all the big fights at MGM or at another venue where we would get 4 or 5 days of interviews with boxers and people who are in the boxing game or publicity people or former fighters. I mean, that's how I've interviewed every big name former fighter that there is, basically. Like, I've interviewed them all. So, like, to have a chance to do that again, if that gets brought back, that's, and you're going to need to have it given the numbers we're talking about here of ticket sales and the pay-per-view numbers are going to have to be huge. Right. I'm assuming both these guys are making so much money on this fight. So I'm really hoping that we're going to wind up getting a Radio Row for this. The last Radio Row was for McGregor Mayweather. That was the last one in Vegas.
They have had other ones. I just went down to that one and
they've been tiny. Like real.
They're little tiny.
I'm talking bringing. I want to be in the room with the morning show from Mexico, from Guadalajara, when the 8 people stand up and they yell at the top of their lungs when they start their show. It's the funniest thing in the world. Yeah. They all stand up and they all scream. I'm talking about like international people coming into Vegas, people out of the country, people from all over the country, New York, Boston, national, local.
Does Canelo draw that crowd?
Hell yeah, he does. That's why they do it. They do it for Canelo. Okay. So, I've interviewed Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know. Before him and Canelo had their falling out, he was his promoter.
Right.
Like, I've had Oscar on my show probably 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been to almost every Canelo fight in Las Vegas covering it. So I've seen the Amir. I was 5 feet away from the Amir Khan knockout that I've said before. It was the most horrific sound. I've never heard something like that before. It was it was like a baseball bat against a watermelon, and he knocked him in the next year. And then I saw him fight. Canelo is a boring fighter. I'll give you that. He's not an explosive Mike Tyson bull that rushes you. He's a tactician. He's slow. That makes it somewhat boring at times. I'll see if, I can't wait to see if Bud Crawford's going to take it to him early, because no one's ever tried to do that. They've never tried to push Canelo early. So how does that fight go through? It's going to be fun. It's going to be an absolute ball. And if that comes back, if we get a Radio Row because of this, the Mayweather-McGregor Radio Row was at the place that before the Route 61 shooting happened. That's where they hosted it. So that was out the window. So you can't go there anymore, although they've now sold that property. So maybe we could potentially go back there. But hopefully we get that back, because that's how you really sell a fight. You get everyone in Vegas, you get all this media coverage, and you cover it like a Super Bowl.
Right.
You just cover on every one for that. So when was the last big boxing fight we've had in Vegas? I can't think of one. The last mega fight we've had. Have we had one post-COVID? Like a real one post-COVID?
I don't really think so. I don't know.
I gotta
think. UFC has been the dominant
100%.
Thing here in Vegas. It's
100% the UFC is dominated in Vegas over that. So that's a It's a huge fight. And Raheem Palmer, who will join us here in about 10 minutes. Raheem's a huge boxer.
Yeah.
Huge boxing fan too. So we'll get his take on that. Wilder Fury qualifies, but Wilder Fury 3 counts. Yep. That counts. That was here. You're right. That counts for me. Any heavyweight championship of the world counts. Those two guys didn't sell the way that others have sold in the past, but it's hard because I'm comparing it to like Mayweather, Pacquiao, like that level of chaos on the strip where
there was nothing like that. I've been here 21 years. There was nothing like that.
Shuts down.
Pacquiao Mayweather was one, and then McGregor Mayweather was absurd. It was bigger.
Yeah,
it was bigger. Yeah, it was incredible. The amount of handle we did, the amount of people that were, the buzz was sick. It was,
it was true.
Getting in and out. I was on the strip at that time. Getting in and out of work was tough. It was just constant. It was literally X number. I mean, there was more buzz for that than there was for the Super Bowl.
Wow. Yeah.
Until the weekend.
That's true.
I mean, it was easier to get around during Super Bowl week until the weekend than it was that week of the fight.
Before we go to what happened last night and talk to Raheem Palmer, how was Kenny Mayne's comedy show? It was great. It was a lot of fun. I had not seen the Wiffle Ball movie, so that was cool to see that, to watch that and how it unfolded. Kenny did his stand-up. It was a nice venue. He's working out the kinks still. He's trying to figure out how that's going to go, but it was good to see him, and it was good to see this number of people friends of his, and a lot of media friends were in that room last night. That was fun.
Got to meet his wife, which was nice. And we reminded her that Kenny gave us a tour of the house, and she was like, "Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. There's Johnny Parlay, JR33312. Maine was great. I can't thank Matt and Dave enough for hooking me up with the tickets. He won the tickets.
Yeah.
He showed them. He showed up there, brought a friend. So it was good. I had a little side pizza at the Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. I ordered it just because I was starving when I got there. Just finished off a Sports Grid and zipped down there.
Right.
So, got a little meal, picked up a couple bets from the for the Super Bowl. My man Russ still won't give me the horse plays though, but he gives me these Super Bowl props. So we'll have that to talk about later this week too. It was fun. It was good. Got home and got a good night's sleep after being at the Comedy Club. They needed to get us out of there quick.
They did. He's a big guy. I mean, Kenny is not a small dude. Like, you can see why you see him on TV or you see him
6'4", 6'5".
But he's just you when I shook his hand, it's like, okay, you can tell like he played football. Like he has enormous.
Oh yeah.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, like you see on TV, you're like, you played football for UNLV, really? And then you get to him in person, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, now I see it.
Yeah.
No, Ross Randall, Dave is not a horse guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ross is a horse guy, not Dave or Russ. Right? He's a horse guy. Not
Oh
Dave.
yeah, Russ is the horse guy.
Russ
I mean, he's giving me. I should have asked him for Derby futures
already.
Yeah, this is when you buy these Derby futures: 200 to 1, 250 to 1, 300 to 1. Chef Benny knows. You horse guys in the chat, Tommy Lorenzo might be lurking. We're starting to scope those out. We're always looking ahead. Everybody's looking behind or focused on everything in New Orleans, and that's fine. That's why we're going to get a couple guests this week from New Orleans. But we're focused on Vegas. We're focused on basketball. We're focused on hockey. We got things happening in the spring, hopefully.
People are getting mad at me when I'm going on these shows and telling them that I think there's no buzz for this game. People are getting
buzz for this game.
People are getting angry. They're like, "What do you mean?"
You push everybody's buttons. It doesn't matter.
They ask me.
People mad. You get the Boston people mad.
You ask me a question. You ask me a question. What, like, how excited are you for this game? And I'm just saying, I'm not. Like, this is. I said today on a show that I said I'm more excited to watch Drake and Murray State tonight than I am to watch the Super Bowl.
Fair.
And they're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm more excited to watch what Drake does tonight on the road."
It's irony because I said this to you 2 years ago, like about all this stuff. And you're like, "What are you talking about? It's a Super Bowl. It's this, it's that. It's
the game. It's
another game.
Because the game sometimes is exciting, but there's nothing for this game. There's just
all these
not.
people in the chat just keep saying it. If you guys are watching the show right now, you saw
Yeah,
Whitrock.
we'll always watch it, Joel. I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it.
yeah,
I'll bet it and watch it like everybody. I mean, but it's nothing. I'm not counting down the hours to this game. I'm not like, I cannot believe we're going to see this. We just saw this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the difference is Saquon. Okay. But it's the same quarterbacks. It's the same coaches. It's the same colors. It's the same teams. It's the same stories. Like, it's just like, this is not exciting to me. Like, if the Bills were there, I'd be like, this is unbelievable. If the Lions were there, I'd be like, this is unbelievable. But the Chiefs have become boring, and the storylines aren't really that fun to talk about again. Between it's the Andy Reid Bowl. Will Andy Reid retire? No. Will Steve Spagnuolo retire? No. Like, is Travis Kelce going to retire? No. Like, there's just nothing exciting about this game.
So you have two interesting takes right here, back to back, almost in the chat. LL said, "This is an interesting take. History is on the line." This is true. I mean, Kansas City winning would be history. Would be the greatest short stretch in history, biggest, best dynasty ever. Fair. And then you have Chris Zale in here in the chat who says, "Some of us will get a little satisfaction seeing Kansas City lose." I guess
I'll get more than I'll get more than a little satisfaction. I'll get a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
But that's not we'll see. This game sucks. No buzz. Who cares?
Prezano said it. This game sucks. No buzz. Who cares? Get mad at Prezano. So
I mean, there's just
their own opinion.
There's just not a lot there that I'm going like, the three-peat angle is legit. Okay, it's there. But like, again, I've already told you, I'm not listening to the Chief dynasty is better than the Patriots dynasty. It's so far removed. Talk to me in 10 years. Like I am like I'm 10 when I'm 57. Let's have that conversation. Not when I'm 47. So if I'm removing that, and that's not, like, you're right. Never seen history. 3 in a row. Shortest sprint dynasty ever. Yes. Unbelievable run. Never seen it before. Maybe never will see it again in the NFL. Who knows? But outside of that, I mean, I'm cheering for the Eagles. I want Philly to win, but I don't find this to be like a amazingly compelling game with all of these different interesting storylines.
I used to watch it essentially for the commercials. I'm not even excited to watch the commercials. $7 million for 30 seconds. You can advertise much less than that right here on the BVB.
Right.
If you guys are interested in that, just email us, askthebvb@gmail.com. You can send us an email.
You can already watch the commercials. They're already out.
Oh, there you go. Sonic the Wrench.
It's smart.
It already has the commercials all bundled up, so you can skip that aspect too. Wow.
Well, if you were going to spend that much money on the production, like Pat McAfee he unveiled it today. He's in the NFL ad that's going to run during the Super Bowl. So Pat's in a Super Bowl ad, and it's already, I mean, those things are all going to already be out. Like, if you're going to spend that much money on the production, you don't want to run it for 1 30-second crack. You want to keep it rolling as much as possible. So you want to put it out there early and put it out there before the game and in the pregame and the postgame, trying to get as much run for it as you possibly can. So it makes sense to release them now, to put them out. I mean, that's logical to me to say you're going to do that. But I don't know. 30 seconds is not a long time. No, for $8 million. No, it's not a long time. Not by any means. Yeah. Bills versus Eagles would have been way more fun. There's no debating that. Bills or Lions. Lions, Bills would have been the best. That would have been ecstatic. Those fan bases would have taken over New Orleans, and it would have been just epic. But the Eagles are going for their 2nd ring. The Chiefs are going for their 4th, right? Overall?
Chiefs have
5th or 4th?
Be their 4th in the last 6 years.
Yeah. But so they're going for that.
They've won before. They won Super Bowl 4. They've won the Super Bowl before.
Yeah, so it's 5. So it would be their 5th Super Bowl. So, like, I mean, that's okay. That's amazing. But, like, again, Casey's in the middle of the country. It's not they don't rub people the wrong way, except like the brand they're not villains. They're trying to play the villain, but it doesn't really fit them.
I don't think they're even trying to play the villain. They're just
last night they kind of were.
Cool as could be. I don't think so. I think they just.
You hear Travis? Kelce tried it Kelce tried with some of his questions last night. He was asked to spin it around and like what to ask if you could ask the media one question, what would it be? So, like, essentially they're trying to play the heel. They just don't play it really all that well. And it's I don't know, maybe it's because Mahomes and his voice and Travis, and he's Kelsey's a likable guy. Like, it's hard to dislike Travis Kelce unless you really hate the Chiefs. He's a likable guy.
Right.
And so, his whole family, him and his brother, both are likable dudes. Even Jason Kelsey's wife is really likable. So, we'll see. Oh yeah, good food choices. I'll give you that. Ooh, what city has better food? KC, Philly, or New Orleans? I'm gonna say New Orleans has better food. But Philly number 2, KC number 3. But KC's got great barbecue. The barbecue at KC is tremendous. Philadelphia is there's both Philly and KC both have very distinct culinary dishes that are from there. Like, there's no better soft pretzel in the world than in Philadelphia. Like, that's just end of story. Like, unbelievable. Barbecue, depending on how you like the barbecue. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't mind it. I'm not a huge molasses guy. It's okay. KC barbecue is good. It's not outstanding. People get angry about that. Barbecue in New Orleans too. I know you're from down there, Butchie, so you could argue that point, but I still, the Cajun barbecue is different than Texas barbecue and different than like KC barbecue. It's still really good though. Cajun food's phenomenal. So I would give New Orleans the tip of the cap on that. Raheem was here, and then Raheem just jumped. So hopefully he's not having any problems. But it may have been a lighting issue. He was pretty dark, so he may have been trying to move to a better spot lighting-wise. With that, I don't have a text message from him, so I think he's okay.
I don't either.
Hopefully he'll jump in. Burt Ends gumbo. Wow, never had it. That would be interesting. Have you had Burt Ends before?
Yeah.
It took me a while.
You get way more excited about the meat than I do.
Oh, Burt Ends is tremendous.
A lot of people like talking about the meat.
I understand the why. I mean, if you ask someone from Kansas City, like, their Gates Barbecue creating the Burt Ends is something that they take a lot of pride in. Like, that's a very big thing for them that they've got it. So I'll give that to you, but I'd rather have a Philly cheesesteak than Burt Ends. And I'm a barbecue guy. So I'm okay with Burt Ends. I'm not in love with the Burt Ends. It also, because I like really spicy barbecue sauce, and that's not KC. KC's barbecue sauce is not that spicy. Southern is, but I mean, have you had crawfish before?
Yeah.
So, like, people who are afraid of eating crawfish, I'm always like, we got to you go to New Orleans and you go to a crawfish boil, and it changes your life. Just shut up, put your eyes down, don't think about what you're eating, and just eat it. Just straight up, just eat it, and don't think about what you're eating, because it does get a little weird. They look like little bugs. Like, it is kind of weird, like you're eating bugs, but it's like mini lobsters, and it's pretty good. It's good stuff to do. Well, I don't know what happened to Raheem, so hopefully Raheem's going to pump on. Hello, bomb.com. How are you?
Hello, Bostonian and Book. Hello, bomb.com.
Carolina barbecue is too vinegary. Chris, it's got too much vinegar in it. Cut down that vinegar, and I'll be more involved. I'll be more down with Carolina barbecue.
Holy crap.
I like it, but the barbecue, it's so vinegar. It's so tough. It's pungent almost. So Carolina barbecue it's all right. It's my least favorite type of barbecue. I got to be honest. It's all about the vins. Nah, man, it ain't. It ain't all about the vins. It's too much vinegar. I can't do it. Memphis barbecue there. Now we're talking. I like dry rub. People get all pissed off about that. I'm a dry rub fan. I like Memphis barbecue a lot.
I have no comment.
Oh, dry rub is great. You cannot compare NOLA and Philly food. What do you mean? They're both great, Tyrone?
My dark glasses, huh? For this conversation about dry rubs.
Why,
Last time we did this, we got into glory holes and dry rubs. And
do you guys use dry rub on things that I don't know? Or are you talking about like the act of dry humping? Like what is the what is the issue with dry rub? I don't understand why that's
not in
comical.
Bonus time yet.
Why is that comical? Right, I could say that word.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Will's not even right.
It's okay.
I don't even know if Will's paying attention. Will's doing an unbelievable job with the shorts, by the way.
Will,
thank you very much.
Keep it up. It's great.
Yeah.
Texas with no debate. There's a debate, but I'll give it to you. I'll give you. There is no debate with brisket. Texas brisket, no debate. Okay, there's nobody else who makes brisket the way Texas does. So I'll give you that. Tennessee's right behind. Tennessee's number 2 for brisket, but Texas definitely has. But overall barbecue, it's really debatable because.
Are we trying to get on the Food Network? Is there a possibility of us getting on the Food Network?
I love this topic.
No.
This is my. I'm waiting on Raheem. So like,
there is no Raheem.
I don't know where Raheem was there.
I don't know. Casey missed her time. We didn't get her. We might miss Raheem too. This is bad. This is not. This is Tuesday. We had 2 guests booked and both, got put in a penalty box and they're not coming out.
Let me text them to see.
I don't know. So Tuesday works for me. Yesterday we almost got shut down by whomever. They froze you out. You had to reset.
That was crazy.
I mean, today there's a story that Robinhood pulls everything. Somebody's watching the show. The governor, something, I don't know. Dry rub barbecue is the best. Chicago John has the best dry rubs for his ribs. I think Smoker is coming out for Super Bowl.
Do it up. Dude, the Boston versus food.
I guess so, Christian Hastings.
Have you ever gone to a place that you know what Man versus Food is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The show.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Why?
It's boring to me.
Really?
I don't. What? My wife is obsessed with the Food Network. It's on here all the time.
Okay.
I immediately leave the room. We had a discussion last week.
No matter what the show is, every show you hate?
Snooze fest.
All of them.
Not one thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some really good shows on there.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I don't watch any of them.
Even like Triple D? No?
No.
Like a Guy Fieri Vegas type? Can't even go down that road?
I try. I'll sit in a room and pretend like I'm watching to try, to stay married and everything else. And did you see that? Yep.
Chopped
What'd you think?
Chopped is dope.
Chopped is dope.
So I've met like 3 chefs here in Vegas who have won episodes of Chopped. And that's always awesome to talk to them about how it went down and the way that it, how it gets filmed and how tough it is to do. Yeah. I'm a fan. I've watched a lot of Food Network in my life. I'm a big fan of it. You just get different ideas, and I can cook anything, but you got to show me how to do it first. I'm not just somebody who just naturally goes into a kitchen and just starts like whipping stuff together and goes like, I'm going to make all that. Like I'm good at, that's why I'm a decent baker, because I can follow directions. So I'm not, but I don't have the creativity to go in there and see like just a chicken breast and make like 4 different things. Iron Chef. See, Dave, you're missing a lot. Blue Spader's on you, Dave. Iron Chef was good. The old Iron Chef was amazing.
Yeah. Got things to do. I gotta watch hockey games, and I gotta coach kids, and I don't have time to be watching this stuff.
Let's go to New Orleans and get to our guy.
He's lit up.
He's all in.
He's lit up.
All good. You're all good. What's up, dude? How are you? Welcome back to BVB.
What's good, man? It's been a minute. I missed you guys. You guys know I moved to Vegas, but I'm out here in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Just super exciting week. Trying to eat as much food as possible.
See?
Even though I can't get.
See?
You weigh like $135. What are you eating?
Yeah, I'm eating everything. Po' boys. I'm eating shrimp. I'm eating gumbo, jambalaya. I still can't gain weight. I can still make like 125 or so.
So don't do the warm water oysters. That's my only advice. They're enormous and they're nasty. Like I am so against everything else down there is tremendous, except for the warm water oysters.
Oh wow! See, I was going to try the charbroiled oysters. I keep seeing those and they look amazing.
Yeah, okay. I guess so. They're too big. They just I like briny small oysters. I'm not a huge. I don't like Oysters Casino either, so I'm not a huge fan of like cooking the oyster and doing that stuff. So that's probably
seafood snob, Raheem. He's
from Philly. He knows what that's like. I mean, you gotta have quality seafood, and you got.
Where are you right now? You look like you're in some palatial estate. Where
I'm saying Caesar's Palace.
Nah, I'm in the French Quarter. Just some hotel that Spotify booked for me. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of small, but it's nice.
It looks nice. It looks nice at all. So did you go out at all last night?
I just went out and got some food, and then I went home and I watched some NBA. I'm still a big NBA guy, so I was like watching that Rockets versus Knicks game. But I ate some good food. I walked the French Quarter. It's very interesting. It's almost like a rich man's South Street. If you've been to Philadelphia, it's like this is a way better version of South Street.
So have you been there before?
No, this is my first time.
Very cool.
Okay.
You made a pretty funny tweet this morning about how Zion had no chance. It's a good point, right? Zion had no chance to keep his weight down living there.
Yeah, like he should have been in Miami with the Pat Riley regimen. You can't put him around all of this food and expect him not to gain weight. Like, what are we doing here? Like, David Stern would have just forced him somewhere. Like that's the one thing about Adam Silver's NBA is that he just doesn't lay the law down.
Well, before we get to like maybe NBA games tonight, because Boston's playing Cleveland, which is a really interesting game, and then we got the Lakers and the Clippers later. What'd you think of the trade? I mean, where were you Saturday night? Because it was, you're out west now. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. We're all, on social media all the time, and you get these things and alerts and go, wait a second, what the hell just happened? Luka got traded to the Lakers for AD and what? So where were you Saturday night? Did you believe it when you saw it? What do you think of it?
I was at the David Benavidez, David Morrell fight.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was sitting on press row and I got a text message from my friends and they were saying, oh, apparently this tweet is real. So when I saw the tweet, I was like, oh, this is really real. And I'm actually I'm in a group chat with one of the general managers of the Kings. Shouts to Paul Johnson. And he said he called the Lakers to see if it was real. And it was real. So that's how I found out about it.
Do you think the Mavericks know something that we don't? Because the package that they got back, it seems so reactionary. They didn't call anybody else. It was just two teams talking about a 25-year-old first-team All-NBA superstar that, yes, is owed a ton of money. But to the Mavericks, who essentially did say this, we're not banking our future on Luka Doncic. Do they know something that no one else knows in your mind?
I mean, it seems that they think that Luka Doncic is Joel Embiid, which is just absolutely absurd to me. I can't make sense of that at all. But it feels like, Nico Harrison, he's a guy he was a shoe executive, and he must think he just knows basketball better than anybody else, because to me, Luka is royalty, and I do not understand it. So occasionally you just have people who think they're the smartest person in the room, the smartest person in the world, and they make moves considering that. But I'm still shocked. It almost feels dirty to me to, trade a 25-year-old Luka Doncic for an Anthony Davis. So I just can't make sense of it at all.
Dallas is playing Philly tonight. The NBA trade deadline is like 48 hours away. Philly's favored by 4. Hard to believe. Philly hasn't been favored in a game for a while, and they just shipped out somebody today. So
they shipped out Caleb Martin.
Anything to come from that? Like, do you think Philly, are we beginning another process with the Sixers?
No, I think Daryl Morey really made a good trade. I mean, he got a pick. He got a pick, and he got Grimes for Caleb Martin. And it's just like, it's not like he's like a major piece. He's just a role player guy. And I think they got pretty much an equally valued player, and you got a pick. So I think Daryl Morey, to me, Daryl Morey has made a lot of great moves since being in Philadelphia, but he's been hamstrung by the fact that you had Joel Embiid always being hurt. Obviously, when Harden was there, he wanted a new contract extension. Obviously, you had to deal with the Ben Simmons thing. It's just he's made good moves around the margins, but he's getting snake bit.
Why, in your mind, why didn't they shop Luka? Like, why didn't they put it out there? Were they afraid that Luka wasn't going to play, or that he was going to have some type of negative reaction to it? Because it was a week before the trade deadline. It's Rob Pelinka, who supposedly the deal was better than this, and it was whittled down because essentially Rob Pelinka kept on saying to Nico Harrison, he's fat, he drinks too much, he's not going to be healthy, I'm risking my career for this, so I really can't give you anybody. Dalton Connect was part of this trade at one point, who's looked like a legitimate NBA player at times this season. He was taken out of the deal. There were multiple first-round picks in this. That was taken out of the deal. Why did the Mavericks do this with one team and not with the whole NBA?
So there's rumors out there that it's basically saying that ownership wanted them to trade Luka Doncic. They're trying to, bring down the value of the franchise
to move here, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if I buy that. But
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that at all. I think, from what I'm seeing is that maybe they just had their sights set on Anthony Davis by any means, and they just weren't trying to entertain any other, which is just I truly don't understand it. And I've been trying to make sense of it. I've been saying everything from maybe, Luka slept with somebody's wife to, maybe Nico Harrison is just racist. I just can't figure it out. There's nothing that makes logical sense about this.
Well, Dallas's starting lineup, it looks a lot different. Everybody's totally dismissing them now for being just out. The West is OKC and everybody else. Why can't Dallas compete with this lineup? Do you think they're just done?
See, I think they can compete, but I think the issue is that a lot of the players on the team, their value comes from Luka. Look at a guy like Derek Lively. He's set up by all of those, those lobs from Luka. So how is he going to perform better without a legit playmaker? I like Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie Irving is not a point guard. He's not a supreme playmaker, and I think you've seen that. Matt, you've seen that in Boston. If you don't have a supreme playmaker next to Kyrie Irving, it's like he can get his looks, but what does he do for everybody else? And I think that's my issue. I think this team is truly built around Luka, and they have a ton of shooting, but all of those guys, their value is predicated on Luka. And I do think maybe the defense gets better with Anthony Davis. They have a ton of bigs right now, but I just don't know I think the drop off offensively is gigantic.
Do you think there's anything to the conspiracy theory that this was orchestrated by the NBA and that's why it was done quietly, and that there's fans out there who, we've talked about games being fixed. We're talking about crooked zebras. We talked about, college teams on the take. This is all things that legitimately are in the news right now, that the referees in the Super Bowl it's already in the bag for the Chiefs. We've talked conspiracy theorists more here on this show in the last week than I think we've had in the 3 years previously. But this doesn't, as you said, doesn't look right. It looks weird. And now the Lakers get to reset around a 25-year-old. If LeBron wants to walk away next year or this year even and say, I'm done, the Lakers have a face for their franchise for the next 10 to 15 years if Luka plays for that long. Is there a conspiracy there? Did the league get involved in this?
I don't think the league got involved. And I think more and more as I think about it. And I don't know if you guys remember Jeremiah Engelman. He's the creator of ESPN Real Plus Midas. He actually worked with the Dallas Mavericks before and, overlapping Nico Harrison's time as general manager. And he actually suggested early on that they should have traded Luka about 4 years ago because they felt that his box score metrics don't actually match his impact. But he's now come along on Luka, and he's basically said that Nico Harrison he's surrounded himself with yes men and people who think just like him. So I assume that, Nico Harrison just thinks that Luka Doncic is Embiid. And, you got to remember, Luka Doncic was pro at 16 years old. Yeah. So he has a lot of miles on him. So I think they're looking at this from a perspective of this is not a guy who takes care of his health. We saw the NBA when he made the NBA Finals. He's drinking a beer, and Michael Finley takes the beer away from him. So I just think the sentiment amongst Nico Harrison is that Luka isn't going to be that franchise centerpiece 5-10 years from now. And I don't agree with it at all, but it just seems like that's what he thinks. And he says something about the culture, and I think they want to build a defensive-minded culture, which all of this is crazy to me, but I think that's just what they think. And to me, Luka is royalty. I love Luka.
Yeah, I think we all do. Before we get to the Super Bowl and a little more New Orleans stuff, there was news this morning, and we just discussed it. And we know you're a fight guy. You just said you were at the fight on Saturday night. Huge fight coming in September to Allegiant Stadium. Canelo and Bud Crawford. What is your first thought about that fight? And is it as big of a fight as fight fans want to make it out to be?
It's a big fight for hardcore boxing fans, but it's not a huge fight for the casual fan. And the reason why is because Terrence Crawford, as great as he is, he's not a household name. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, Terrence Crawford is probably one of the best fighters in the game. I mean, he's one of like what, 3 who has been undisputed in 2 different weight classes. I mean, you're talking about Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about Anyway, and you're talking about a female in Clarissa Shields. It just doesn't happen. But he's not a huge star. And so I think the numbers that they think they're going to get, they're not going to get those numbers. Now, as far as the fight itself, you're talking about Terrence Crawford, who has fought much of the last 3 years at 147 at welterweight. He moved up to, super welterweight. Yeah, 156. And it didn't feel like he had that same crack. So you're asking him to move up to 168. I just don't know how successful he's going to be. I mean, we just saw Charlo move up against Canelo, and he just wasn't effective at all. So how can Crawford be effective? So I think this is Crawford saying, you know what, I want to dare to be great, but it's really Crawford saying, I want a big paycheck. And this is going to be the biggest paycheck of his career, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because it's not Canelo coming down. Because it could have been Canelo to come down, or they could have met at a catch weight, or they could have met at 156. It's not what they're doing. Canelo basically said, you want my belts? You're coming up to my weight, and we can fight for my belts, not going after Canelo's or Crawford's belts, because that's all the way down at 146. But they're going to have it be where he's trying to take his and say, all right, I got to fight somebody, because let's be frank, there's no one really out there for Canelo. Like, this has been pretty boring, and he's running away from.
Well, there's somebody out there for him.
He's not going to fight Benavidez. He won't fight him. He won't fight Benavidez, and you were there, so he won't go near that fight, and he should, but he knows better than to go near that fight. So he has to
time out. You think Benavidez can beat Canelo?
I do now. Maybe not Canelo in his prime. I think Canelo's on the way down. Canelo's been on the way down for a while. But I do think he could, and that's why he won't fight him. Like, let's. I would love that fight to happen, but that fight's even less money and smaller in stature than the Crawford fight's going to be. I mean, Canelo just doesn't have a lot of big, high, value targets to go after that are going to get the public's attention. You've been at the fights for Canelo. It's all Mexican fans. They're all coming from Mexico who come up. U.S. fight fans aren't buying Canelo Alvarez tickets. They're like, yeah, we know who he is.
We've seen enough.
Yeah, we're like, okay, like this guy. He is learning English. He speaks better English now than he ever has before, but he's not speaking like, trash you hear from Mayweather. No one's getting on the microphone and like having a Conor McGregor type, fight going back and forth. And Bud refuses to do that. So that I was saying to Dave earlier, Raheem, I said, like, the question I've got is, can Crawford sell the fight? Like, can he go out there and carry the United States fight fan to get them interested in this fight? Because he's never done it before.
Yeah, he can't. And I've interviewed Crawford before. He's a dog. Like, it's just so funny, but it's just that dog doesn't translate into, talking and selling the fights. It's just he's a lunch pail guy. He's a blue collar. I'm going to work and I'm going home. And that's all it is. And I wish there was more personality there. When I interviewed him last year about the Spence fight, I was asking him, about his level of competition. And he kind of like pressed me. And so it's like, you see the dog in him when you talk to him, but it's just, he just doesn't outwardly just, really start talking trash. And just
I interviewed him in Omaha in 2008, and he was the same way. Like, he's never done this. He's never talked. He doesn't like the media. He doesn't like cameras or microphones. And there's something pure in that. Like, I kind of like a guy. He's like, I'm just a fighter. Like, you guys sell the fight. I'm here to fight. That's it. I'm not here to sell anything. But the U.S. American fight fan wants to hear, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to knock you out in the 4th round. That's just not who the guy is.
Or just at least sell us your lifestyle. Like this guy, I saw him during the Super Bowl last year. He was walking around Vegas with some sweatpants and a do-rag on. Like, there's just nothing cool or fly about him. Like, he doesn't have Bentleys, and like it's
he's
just like
from
he's
North
just
Omaha. He's from he's from one of the roughest places in the Midwest that nobody knows about. Like North O is really, really rough, and he doesn't give a bleep about anything. He doesn't care about any of that. Like, I love that. That's why I love the guy. He's my favorite fighter. I love the guy because he does not give a crap about what anybody else thinks. But that doesn't work in today's society. You got to get out there and drive a Bentley and show everybody how much money you got in the bank.
Yeah, it's got to be a lifestyle. And I think, that's what it's so crazy. Jake Paul versus Canelo, which have been rumors about. And I mean, none of us real boxing fans want to see it, but it would be bigger than any fight on earth.
Amen.
Because Jake Paul understands how to sell himself to the public. Like, even this Jake Paul versus Logan Paul fight, I'm like, he's run out of opponents, and he still found a way to tell a compelling story after fighting Mike Tyson. And I want to see him fight his brother.
You do? Really? You do?
My God.
No, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
but I do.
You know you
It's
don't.
like,
you don't want to.
I don't
know
want
you
to see
don't.
it.
That's it.
I'm going
Change
to tune
subject. In. That's it. Timeout. Hold on. We that's it. We got off the road. Let's focus back. Let's get to New Orleans. Let's get to this game. Your hometown Eagles are in it. Everybody's going blah. Sound like, Crawford. They're lunch pail guys. They're boring. The offense is bland. Hurts is the only real star they got, shiny new thing is Saquon. And it's against the Chiefs, who everybody's tired of and fatigue and this and that. You're down there. All right. It took you to go to New Orleans to get on the show with us, and we're all neighbors and live within 15 minutes of each other. Makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
But are you excited for this football game, Raheem?
Initially I wasn't. But I think one of the things that I realized is I like seeing greatness, and I like seeing teams chase greatness. I was a big Tom Brady guy, and I love seeing Tom Brady go for it. I'm not a big fan of parody. I think parody is overrated. I don't like seeing those Super Bowls where, you just some team crawls out of nowhere. I think the compelling story is, will Patrick Mahomes win 3 straight, because we've never seen it before? Or will the Eagles be able to stop them? And I think the addition of Saquon Barkley really makes the Eagles much more intriguing. And honestly, I think the Eagles are the better team. So now I'm trying to see if Patrick Mahomes can overcome that, because I think the Eagles, to me, I think Vegas has this wrong. The Eagles should be 3-point favorites.
3?
That's where my model has it at.
Yeah.
How about that? What do you make of Saquon Barkley running against a Spagnuolo defense where obviously everybody in the building knows what the Eagles want to do? We know the Chiefs defense at times can be leaky against the run. Do the Eagles just keep pounding the rock regardless of what happens early in the game if Casey is able to slow down Saquon?
Well, if you look at, you mentioned how the Eagles the Chiefs run defense was leaky. I mean, you look at James Cook, 13 carries, 85 yards, 6.5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, long 33 yards. Joe Mixon, 18 carries, 88 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, long 13 yards. If you look at Saquon Barkley, he's been explosive this year. And if you look at him from a down-to-down perspective the last couple of weeks, he hasn't been great down to down, but he's had those explosive runs. So I think you kind of have to assume that he's going to get an explosive run or two. But I think the Eagles are actually going to pass more than people think, because they're a team, and we've seen this since the last year they went to the Super Bowl. They like to get up early. And I know this year the offense hasn't been great in the first quarters, but it seems like they fixed that in the postseason. So I expect the Eagles to actually pass a lot more earlier on in this game and try to pick up a lead. I think they know it's important to, try to knock out Patrick Mahomes and get up early. So I'm looking at some of the props. I see some of the sharps. They're actually on Jalen Hurts over pass attempts. I actually like Alex Goddard over 50.5 receiving yards. I also like him over 4.5 receptions, and also like AJ Brown overs as well. So I think the Eagles don't sleep on their pass offense in this game at all.
How about Devontae Smith though?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
I think he's going to. I think Goddard is obviously the most popular one. I think he's the safety valve, but I think AJ Brown is where their bread is butter. And I know he was hurt towards the end of the year, but he's had some time off now. He appears to be healthier, and I think he's the go-to guy.
The totals sitting 49 pretty much everywhere, bounced a little bit to 48.5 and then back to 49. There were some people out here in Vegas, might have been you actually, driving around town betting under 49 for 50 dimes a pop. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think it was you. I mean, I'm not putting your business on the street. But if back to 49, how do you see the game playing to the total, Raheem?
So my model likes it under. I'm not buying the under at all. I think this is an over spot, and I think one of the things I like to do and I do this a lot when it comes to the Super Bowl. We all know that Super Bowls tend to start slow. So I always like to play the second half, highest scoring half. You can get that at -105 at FanDuel Sportsbook. I mean, I think last year you saw it was a very low scoring half, and I think you got like 30 points in the second half. I mean, obviously you had overtime as well, but I tend to like to play it like that. But I think I would lean towards the over. I think both of these offenses can get going. I think the Chiefs they might struggle a little bit with that Eagles pass rush, but I think eventually they figure it out. And I think, like all Chiefs Super Bowls, they tend to be down. And if they're chasing points, they're going to have to pass the ball. So I think one of these teams will be down a touchdown, 10 points or so, and have to chase. So I'll probably go over.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. And it kind of goes in the face of the trend of the KC defense in the second half, because normally they're down and the second half under hits because their defense shuts down the other team. But I think you're right. I mean, I think in the last 4 Super Bowls for Kansas City, they've been trailing at the break. So they do go down at the first half
all season at the break.
Right. And then they rally and they come back, and there'll be a waterfall of money on KC money line in the second half, like there always is. And so like first half, lay the number or take the points with the Eagles, and then take the Chiefs in the second half. What do you make of the running game for the Chiefs? If they can't run the ball on the Eagles and it's Mahomes dropping back 35, 36 times, how significant could this pass rush be for the Eagles with an offensive line that has been kind of a house of cards at times, moving around guards and left tackles and everyone else?
I think it could be very significant. Pacheco hasn't been very good lately, and Kareem Hunt is, past the point to where he could be a workhorse back. So I wasn't projecting the Chiefs to be a team who was going to be able to run the ball very heavily in this matchup. But what I am projecting is that Patrick Mahomes, he's going to go over on his rushing attempts. You saw in the postseason, he's had 11 rushing attempts and 7 rushing attempts. This is a guy who he knows when it matters. And you can say the same about all these running quarterbacks. When it matters in the postseason, they're throwing caution to the wind. So I went over Patrick Mahomes' 5.5 rushing attempts. I think it got up to 6.5. It got back down, which to me is very foolish. I think if you're looking at a full season sample for Patrick Mahomes' rushing attempts, you're doing it wrong. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be a part of their run game, and I think you're going to see the short passing games, guys like Travis Kelce be their run game.
Patrick may be on the run for his life a lot too, with the way that offensive line has not really provided resistance to guys chasing him. So I've said that this Super Bowl may end up looking a lot like the one against Tampa rather than the one against Philly. So just keep that in mind. Last one for me, sir, before we let you get back to beignets and whatever other things and you're going to eat. Are you all right with that beard? I mean, we got a text on Saturday night. I was worried about you. I think it looks great, but we find you a barber in town. Like I got Mo on the case for you. You got a place on the east side. P-Roll got a guy.
I got Zeke for you. Yeah,
right? Zeke will do it. Are you all right with that beard? Are you good, bro, or what?
So I had a date Saturday night, and she didn't clown me. I got a kiss at the end of the night, so I guess it's not too bad.
All right.
I guess it's not too bad. But the thing was, so I wanted my beard shaped up, and she cut it into a chin stripe.
Okay.
So you could see, this is where my beard naturally goes, and she cut it into like this LL Cool J LeBron type thing, and I was so mad. And here's the crazy thing. So I went to the barbershop, and I guess Mike Tyson is friends with the owner.
Okay.
So he was in there. So I couldn't even snap because Mike Tyson had kicked my ass.
Good to see Mike's in town, though. That's good. Yeah, if I sent you Zeke, he'll take care of you. So whenever you need your fix, good. Go to my guy.
Got a couple options.
Zeke, he does a lot of MMA fighters here in town, and he'll hook you up. Give me a final score. What's the score on Sunday?
Final score.
We ain't holding you to nothing. It's Tuesday. Just throw something out there. What do you think?
I'm gonna go Chiefs 30, Eagles 27.
After all that, you come with the Chiefs.
Here's the thing. So I like the Eagles in the first half. And I'm glad. I'm glad Matt said that. Because I'm playing the Eagles in the first half.
Me too.
But the last two Super Bowls, and I've been calling this the greatest hits. And I don't know if people have seen it on Twitter, but the last two Super Bowls, I've literally waited for the Chiefs to go down and live bet them at the best number I can find.
No.
And I don't know if I'm going to do that this year, but that's where I'm leaning. And I'm going to play the Eagles first half this year. And hopefully I can get a good number. I mean, in the first Eagles Super Bowl, I got the Chiefs at plus 4-1. And then in the last Super Bowl against the 49ers, I got them 3-1, but you could have gotten them as high as 9-1.
I know.
So it's just, I can't go against Mahomes. I refuse to do it. I had, a significant amount of money on the Bills when they played the Chiefs and were up, in 13 seconds. And when they didn't squib kick it, I literally had the hedge on the Chiefs at 20-1. And ever since then, I'm like, you know what? Outside of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl, I have not faded the Chiefs in the playoffs at all.
It's not horrible. I like a couple. Give me a prop bet or two that you like. Shortest touchdown for me, under 1.5 yards, the play I make every year. I like a pick for Mahomes here. I like Devontae Smith to have a big game. You mentioned the wide receivers. I think Devontae Smith has a big game catching the football for this Eagles offense. I think AJ Brown, I think they'll take away. They'll try to at least take away AJ Brown in this offense with play action, and that could lead to Devontae Smith, who's had two very big games against the Chiefs in his career, going over 90 yards in both games receiving against them. Any prop bet you like?
All right, we're going to go with Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts. Second half, highest scoring half. We're going to go with Harrison Butker over 7.5 kicking points. The one thing about the Eagles defense is they are fourth in red zone touchdown percentage. So I always like to go with Harrison Butker. We're going to go with Goddard over 50.5 receiving yards. Goddard over 4.5 receptions. We're also going to go with Xavier Worthy overs. I like his overs. And also AJ Brown 70.5 receiving yards.
Good stuff. Tell folks where they can get your stuff on The Ringer.
You can find me at The Ringer Gambling Show on Spotify. You can also find me on FanDuel TV. We got East Coast Buyers every Monday and Thursday. Thursday, we're on FanDuel TV. And then also, we got Ringer NFL pregame show. It's normally on Sundays. This week, I think it's going to be on. Matter of fact, we're taping on Friday. It's going to air on Sunday. So check that out on FanDuel TV and YouTube TV. Thanks for having me on, y'all. It's always an honor, always a pleasure.
Travel
Tell
safe.
the boys we said hello, please.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, have a good one.
That is the one and only Raheem Palmer joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book, live in New Orleans for The Ringer here on BVB. All right, good. I'm glad we were able to get a hold of him and get some thoughts on his, not just eating, but we'll take care of the beard situation for him. No sweat. So yeah, at least the date went well.
At least the date went well. That's good. Yeah, he was not happy. That text, I was almost called him and said, "Hold on, do you need it fixed right now? I'll get a guy. Where are you at? And he was like, "No, I'll be okay and whatever." So yeah, that's good. I'm relieved.
Good
Nothing
stuff.
Worse than a bad haircut.
Especially if you pay like Vegas prices for it too. Like if you're paying $30-$40 for it and it's bad, that stinks.
I went to Curacao and I went and got a haircut for the first time. I said I just needed short on the sides, and it got lost in translation, and she basically almost made it like this. And I was 26. I had a full head of hair. I was like, what? Just hold on. She went like this on the side, and it was already done on one side, so she had to match it. And I went back to the office, and they were like,
"Whoa!"
All the girls in the office were like, "Mr. Dave, what did you want your hair like that?" I'm like, "No." I didn't get another haircut the whole time I was there.
Smart.
Never got another haircut. So by the time I left, over a year later, It was ridiculous. And Brother Smoke came down, and we said, we're not getting a haircut until we get off the rock. That was our thing.
Mm.
What's the longest you've gone without a haircut?
2.5 months.
Okay.
That's
even when you had that mop thing in high school, that was only 2.5 months.
Well, what do you mean by like? Because
longest period of time you've gone without a haircut?
Yes, because I would grow the hair
months?
out, but I shaved underneath, so I would I would get it shaved.
Oh,
so I would technically be going. I mean, like I grew the hair out, but like the hair. So I was asking, like, cutting my hair on a razor or on scissors, like 2.5 months is the longest. Okay. But like actually getting a haircut, that was like 6 months. But like getting my haircut, I would just shave the underneath.
Okay, all right.
That's kind of the difference as to what do you call a haircut?
The underneath.
What do you call a haircut?
Manscaping.
So
shaving the underneath. I mean, you got to have maintenance. It's very true.
Yeah, very important. We'll just do this quickly because I just pulled this up because I think it was funny. These are the ranks that Yahoo Sports came up with for off seasons for every team in Major League Baseball. Does it make you mad that your team is a D+?
I think it's a fair grading system. I mean, why the plus though?
The Cardinals are
the insulting thing is the plus.
D+.
D is enough. Like the D, it's about the D. That's fine. Okay. But you didn't need to put D+. Now I think that's just something personal.
It's a D+.
There's
like
a couple Fs. Wow.
Couple
San Diego F.
Yeah.
Seattle F. Look at the AL West. I mean, C+, F, B+, B-, and C. What the hell? Who got? Oh, the Dodgers got A's.
Oh, A+, obviously for the Dodgers. Yeah. So they basically said that you guys did not do nearly enough as you should have done. You know, you have Paul Skeens, a bevy of talent. The Pirates have assembled an enviable foundation on the mound to build around, but instead of seizing the opportunity at hand and pushing their budget to support a potentially elite pitching staff, Pittsburgh has remained maddeningly frugal. Their largest expenditure has been a $5 million commitment to franchise icon Andrew McCutchen. That's all you spent in the offseason was giving him $5 million. You signed him to a 1-year, $5 million extension to keep Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah.
On that.
Right.
So does that bother you that your team has been that sort of that?
It's fine. I mean, that's at least fair. I put the listening glasses on because I was listening to everything that you said, and there's not much to disagree with. I mean, Kutch is awesome.
Yes, of course. You keep him, but
I mean, we need a little bit more than that. I was just saying, like, there's things that could have done. Maybe not. I don't know. It's it's going to be baseball season soon enough. I was looking at some numbers. I picked up all of the sheets at the Westgate when I got the packet. I got all the baseball sheets and all the numbers. And starting tomorrow, I have no more Sports Grid the rest of the week.
Wow.
Off the air there. So it's just us.
I mean, when you look at the Dodgers, when you look at the Dodgers and what they did,
what are we looking at the Dodgers for? We don't. They are an A+.
No, I know, but Snell, Sasaki, Hernandez, Conforto, Scott, Kim, Edman, Yates to go along with their team that just won the World Series. Those are the new faces on their roster. Like, not their own. That's a damn good team without, Mookie and the best player on the planet who's going to pitch this year. The Dodgers it's just dumb. It really is. It's absolutely crazy. The Padres did nothing, by the way. They got a catcher. They got Elias Diaz to a 1-year deal. Why did the Padres do nothing? The D-backs at least got Corbin Burns. They got something halfway decent. The Giants did a couple things. They got Verlander.
I don't want to completely besmirch the Padres because, we love San Diego and we go and do shows in San Diego and Del Mar's in San Diego. And we really enjoyed going there and we'd love to go back. But, I mean, the Padres may have just said, the Dodgers got who? Wait, they got who?
Everyone.
What?
They got everyone. They got everybody.
Sorry, Will. The Padres may have just said, fuck it.
Fair.
Like, we ain't adding anything. We were one game away from beating that team. What do we need to add? We're not spending more. We're not this. We're not that. I don't know. But
if you're Alex Bregman, would you play for the Red Sox or for the Tigers? Who would you sign like a 1 year or 2 year deal with, which looks like he's going to do that?
Depends where I want to live. Be perfectly honest, that AL Central is, don't get mad, JC from KC. This is not an anti-Kansas City show, despite the fact that it seemed like a lot of the guests and things we're talking about are all about Philadelphia and the Eagles and things like that. I would love to go to Detroit right now.
Really?
I would love. Oh, yeah. I think that team is
to go to Detroit.
Yes. I think Hinch is great. He played for Hinch before.
Okay.
I love that Tigers team. Caught my attention early last year. And that big lefty ain't going nowhere. I don't know. I think, yeah, I would go. I think you can win the AL Central. I don't know. Can the Red Sox win the AL East? Be realistic here. Take your homer hat off for a second.
No. The Red Sox in 2025, the Red Sox will be an 85-win baseball team. They will contend for a wild card spot and probably miss the playoffs. In 2026, they'll be in the World Series.
This is good that you cut your own clips because you're going to have to cut that one.
Go ahead.
That is some crazy stuff right there.
All they need is one of the three kids to hit. They have the best prospect in baseball. Number one prospect in baseball is going to be there the entire year. Their pitching staff needs probably one more arm, and they probably need one or two more relievers.
Sounds like a lot of more and more and
next
more.
year. Listen what I'm saying.
Right.
They are an 85-win team this year. They're barely over 500.
So what is I don't have my season win sheets. I'll look. I don't think their season win total's that high.
I think it's 84.5.
Is it? I thought it was 81.5 again.
No, I think it's 84.5. I think it's 84.5. So I think they'll win just over 85, 84. They'll just over their win total.
Second in division or third?
Probably third, but the Orioles, I think this is the Orioles' last gasp. I'm not buying the Blue Jays for a second. So
or Toronto. Nobody's buying them.
I'm not buying
Nobody's buying Toronto.
I'm not buying Toronto for a second. So I think it's still the Yankees division. Orioles come in second, but I think this is their window. If the Orioles don't do it this year, they're gonna have to deal with the Red Sox. So like you're gonna have to deal with these three kids that they've got coming up, like Red Sox, and then the pitching staff that they've got to throw out there this year. And the younger arms, it's 84.5 at DK. Thank you, Whitrock.
Thank you, Whitrock.
83.5. It's less than the Royals, and they're 83.5. No, it's 84.5. It's more than the Royals.
Shop it around, boys.
Right now,
DraftKings might have it higher just because it's DraftKings there. I don't know.
Right in Boston, true. Right.
Is that Volbex?
Yes.
Red Sox will have to still go through the Angels.
He's just kidding.
Before the World Series. Watch out. Eric.
He's kidding.
Eric
knows better. He's kidding. This is not, but I can't. I mean, the Red Sox are a year away. Like they are legitimately 1 year away from where they will be a World Series contending team. And they will be a World Series contending team. And I think they'll be in the World Series in 2026. I mean, Garrett Crochet just needs a little more seasoning. You got Garrett Crochet to be the ace of this staff. And Walker Buehler is
lefties. Got to learn how to pitch at Fenway too.
True, but Walker Buehler is another guy who's going to come in, and we'll see. I mean, we've seen lefties do really well in Fenway Park historically. Like some of them get roughed up, but some of them do really, really well. So let's see how this pitching staff goes. But they've got young. Walker Buehler just needs to stay healthy. Like, let's just stay healthy, get back after Tommy John, and then next year Walker Buehler might be damn like ace-like. And Crochet and Walker Buehler are the top of that rotation in 26. Let's go. Here we go. They got two foundation pieces.
This is turning into some more Boston.
I'm just saying, Garrett Whitlock was tremendous before he got hurt. Okay, if he comes back and he's decent,
fun team to watch.
Bayo, Hawk, Crawford. I mean, that's a really good pitching staff.
Cassis is healthy, right?
Yep. Yes. Cassis is. I think Cassis is getting traded personally, but I think he's trade bait. I think because they got the kids behind them. They got three kids. They got to play these three kids. You got to find a place to put them. So, and Cassis most likely would be the guy that would be traded out. But I mean, Trevor Story is the one big problem because they're worried about the kids coming up and how they're going to be able to play, and where they play them. But Trevor Story, everyone's like, that's why they want Bregman, because they want him to play shortstop or third and then move Devers somewhere into the outfield or something. So where Bregman plays would be a question because he may not want to play shortstop. So that's one reason why Bregman hasn't been signed yet. As to where, yes, Trevor Story is still alive. Unfortunately, he's on the Red Sox. He's still alive, and he still is not productive and can't stay healthy. So making a ton of money, unfortunately, on that, which kind of sucks. All right, some games tonight. Auburn's at home against Oklahoma, laying 17 points. Oklahoma just killed Vanderbilt at home. I was on OU. They were 2.5-point favorites. They won by, I think, 25. They killed them. I can't believe this number is 17.
Hold on here. So you think there's a shot to cover?
Yeah, I don't think they'll win, but yeah, I think OU's got a shot to go in there and hang. Number one team in the country. 17's a lot of points.
First blush, you could have the dog tonight in that.
I don't know. I wouldn't bet it, but I don't know. I think there's a shot there for Oklahoma. Ranked team on the road as a dog. Michigan State has been red hot. I think they've won like 50
USC though.
That's
Saturday,
right. That's right. They just had their win streak snapped last week. Last game. You're right. Yeah. UCLA at home. Give me McCrone's team.
Yeah, that'd probably be a dog play for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Teams that are
second game. Like they've been sitting in LA for 3 days.
True. Teams that have unranked teams at home favored against ranked teams are 8-0 ATS on the year this year.
Yeah.
So if you want a trend to follow with this game with UCLA, Michigan State.
Is UCLA close to being ranked at this point?
They should be. They're playing really well. They're tough. They're physical. And since getting called out by Mick Cronin, they've played much, much better.
Put it in the chat, hoop heads. You got Sparty plus, it's actually 2 now.
So
use 2 as the spread.
Okay. It was 3 this morning.
Yeah. So Sparty plus 2, UCLA minus 2. If you want to vote in the chat.
Interesting. Game of the night. Marquette at St. John's.
This one requires a poll.
Big East first place game.
Yes. This is
monster.
This is a good. I'm excited. Again, the St. John's comeback and Pitino being there has drawn me in. I like when they're good. I always kind of rooted for St. John's, like along with Pitt back in the day. So I'm a sucker for St. John's. But the line is 2.5. Give the kids a poll right now, boys and girls in the brigade, watching a show, wherever you're at. When you watch it live, it's a participation show. You come in, get in the chat, have different things to say, points made, whatever. Who you betting in this game? St. John's minus 2.5, Marquette plus 2.5. Bet the under. Dave's Daily Picks just said bet the under. P-Rod, how's this game play out in your mind? It's 148.
Who hits threes wins the game.
148. It's exceptionally high. What is
St. John's is 8-6 to the over. Oh, sorry, that's ATS. Sorry, hold on. To the over. St. John's is 7-7. Marquette is 6-2-1 to the under on the road. 8-3 to the under in Big East play for St. John's. So I think he may be right. Under may be the play.
Yeah, I think under.
But last game against UConn went over. 77-69 loss at home to Connecticut for Marquette. I've been wrong with St. John's all year. I've been waiting for St. John's to fall back down to earth, and it hasn't happened. If I'm going to bet it, I'm betting St. John's.
Right.
I'll take him at home. St. John's money line. Yeah, good call, John.
19-3 for St. John's straight up. 13-8-1 against the number. Marquette 18-4 straight up. 11-11.
Yeah,
against the number.
Because Marquette's been, but that is Deceiving because Marquette sucks as a double-digit favorite. Marquette has been awful this year. So a lot of the games, they're big favorites and they haven't covered it. So their ATS number really is a little bit skewed as to how good they have been this year against the spread. Like they just haven't covered the games. Numbers just have been way too heavy. Shaka Smart's awful as a big favorite. Like they laid 10 against Creighton, didn't cover, 13.5 against Georgetown, didn't cover, 13 against DePaul, didn't cover, 10 against Xavier, didn't cover, 14 against Butler, didn't cover. Those are all games they won.
Wow, so far exactly even in the poll voting so far.
Ooh.
So
this
good number.
This is the final score of this is 72-68 for St. John's, so a 4-point win for St. John's, and it follows 140.
That's Ken Palms?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
So way under, considering where the number is. Numbers 8-point difference. That's rare. You don't normally see an 8-point difference there.
Right?
Wow.
I like it.
That might be a bet. That might be a bet.
There you go.
Bet the under might be the play in that game.
You doing the show with Terrell on Betting Pros later? There you go.
In an hour and a half. Is it still 148 right now?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. What am I missing?
It's going up. It's 148.5 in a couple places down south.
What am I missing?
Something. Somebody thinks.
So Marquette is 136th in adjusted tempo.
Right.
St. John's is 49th in adjusted tempo. But St. John's defensive metrics are awesome. 4th in efficiency, 20th in field goal percentage, 6th in 2-point percentage, 186th in 3-point percentage. Again, 3-point shooting. If Marquette hits threes, my God. Did you see that Virginia game last night, by the way?
I was on with Wetzel on Sports Grid, and I had it on, and it
couldn't miss.
Terrible.
Virginia couldn't miss.
Well, there was I was waiting, or I was on with Dane yesterday. I'm sorry, Dane Martinez did the show with me.
Right.
I was waiting for Pitt. Like you're looking to take
a
12.5-point favorite as a 10.5-point dog
on the road. Right.
And I kept going. I mean, they're at home, and I kept going to Dane. There is not 1 second that I think Pitt is going to come back. There was not 1 second, 5 minutes into that game. I'm like, they're going to lose 1, but 2, maybe they never got within. It was unbelievable.
So the closing number was 129.5. Game fell 130.
Yep. Right around the number. Yeah.
So now Virginia is 9-1-1 to the over, but I bet over 132.5. 2 missed threes in the last minute of that game to send that thing over. That would have cashed my ticket. Yeah. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So 132, 131, 131, 131.5. All them, they all missed. 130 pushed, but you bet the closing number of 129.5. So now we're 9-1-1 to the closing number for Virginia to the over. So just wait, let that go. Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen Virginia hit that many threes in a long time. They couldn't miss from behind the arc. It was insane. And then they couldn't hit the 1-3 I needed them to hit. They couldn't hit. Of course, the 1-3 I needed, they missed. One more game is a good one, too. Kentucky up against Ole Miss tonight in the SEC. Kentucky off of that bad loss to Cal and Arkansas. Little revenge.
You want an SEC team on the road? I mean, they all won on Saturday, right? They had a really good day. Road teams on Saturday had a really good day. Arkansas walked into Kentucky and won.
Outright. The 10-point dog.
How do you think Kentucky, like, did they show up today? I
3-point loss,
my
according
first thought is Ole Miss when I see this number.
3-point loss, according to Ken Palm, for Ole Miss. Or sorry, for Kentucky. Sorry.
3-point win.
3-point win for Ole Miss, yeah.
Right.
So take plus 4.5. I'd take Kentucky.
Yes,
Bounce back spot. Pissed off. Ole Miss has been inconsistent at home.
It's 4 now painted. So everybody got their 4.5 number taken. That's what they wanted.
4-7-1 at home. Ole Miss ATS wise, they've lost 4 consecutive games against the number, and they're 5-4 in the SEC. Ole Miss is an unbelievable road team. They're not great at home. So I would lean Kentucky plus 4.
See, I think it's a short favorite here. I would
find a 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can find 4.5, do it now because it's disappearing as we speak.
He called
Coach Calamari.
He called it.
paid for the groceries for the month with that outright win last Saturday. Good call to Juice.
He did. He came on here and said, take Arkansas money line. And it was it 4-1, 5-1? It was dumb.
I don't know, but it was an ass whooping.
I mean,
they played that game and they were the better team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost, and Timmy Moot, stick around for better to book it. That's why that game is not part of this first rundown. Arizona BYU was part of better to book it.
Oh, watching that tonight for sure.
Late night game, good game. I couldn't get over, I almost tried to go and find a Kentucky basketball postgame show just to listen to the calls.
Oh,
they must have lost their minds.
I think they were mad.
Oh my God, were they mad? Oh my, they lost to Cal. Cal went to Arkansas he has no talent on that roster. And they've preached for the better part of a decade that Calipari couldn't coach. But he can't coach. And what did he do? He comes back in and he beats them.
Did okay.
No love for Texas Tech. They should win. They're playing at home tonight.
No, I know, but they won their last road game too on Saturday. That was a good game. They're 7.5-point favorites tonight for Baylor. Yeah. We'll get to all that here quickly in bonus time.
Yeah.
UNLV's playing at home tonight against Boise. Game's at 8:00.
Take the dog home.
They shoot down there.
Take UNLV tonight. They should
home dog?
Yeah. It's Golden Knights night tonight. They're celebrating the Golden Knights tonight. So there's like a thing. I don't know. The chants will be there. The drum major people will be there. So trying to get the kids to come on over and be a part of it. If you guys are watching the show live with us, don't move. You guys get more with us. If you're watching on replay, thank you to Raheem Palmer for joining us here today. We are back tomorrow, same place, same time. Bonus time starts now. Bingo.
Bingo for Ross. What happened?
I don't know. It must have said something that got them.
I don't know. We got you right at the end. Made you wait all the way to the end. Yeah. Thanks, Ross.
Celtics Cavaliers tonight. Boston is 26-2 ATS after a win. Blind bet. Take the Cavaliers. No handicap needed.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. 3 straight times I've hit this bet.
Because they won but didn't cover.
Correct. Doesn't matter if they win. Doesn't matter if they win or not. If Boston wins a game straight up, the next game they do not cover.
Wow. Okay.
They came back down 26 points.
Cleveland?
I think they're going to lose today. Yep. They were down 26 points to Philly, and they came back and won the game by 8.
That's more on Philly than anything.
Fine. But also Boston made a ton of fucking shots. It was nuts.
Right.
Couldn't stop. I mean, Tatum took over in that game. No, there is no fan hedge here. It's a straight play. It's a straight system play. This is not a fan hedge. This is just 26-1 after a win. Keep betting it until it.
I hope the game lives up to the billing.
It won't, because Boston doesn't care. Boston doesn't care. They don't care. This is way more important to Cleveland. Possibly, yeah. His game is way more important to Cleveland than it is to Boston. They just don't care about this game. Dallas and Philly, you mentioned it before. Number's 4.
Who's responsible for this number?
You think it's wrong? Is AD playing?
No. I don't know.
He's there.
Obviously.
I saw a video with him on the plane flying to Philly to be with Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, my guess would be take Dallas +4. This is, I'm surprised. Go through the numbers. How many times has Philly been favored this season? Not too many.
They were just 11-point dogs to Boston.
Not too many. And they've been playing much better.
Yeah.
AD's out, but Embiid's in. Oh, that makes you feel good. Okay. Maybe they'll blow them out. I don't know. Good luck. I'll be watching for the
they lost by 43 in their last game.
Correct.
Dallas got annihilated.
Yeah. Maybe they ripped out the heart of that. Everybody's mad. I love when the people say that they're mad.
Luka got introduced today. He's not playing tonight for the Lakers, but they are big dogs against the Clippers. 8.5-point dogs.
Seems a bit excessive at first blush, right?
Seems heavy.
Yeah, it seems a bit excessive, but the Lakers going to have a little trouble scoring tonight. I think. I think the Lakers are going to have a little trouble scoring tonight. Not playing. It was a nice road trip. They finished up pretty good, and then they come home, and now they got this guy coming. So, I don't know.
It's going to be wild to see when he gets introduced for the first time. See Luka Doncic in a fucking Laker uniform. Time for Better to Book. All right, 3 plays for you. Drake laying 4.5 on the road against Murray State. Drake is 10-2, 20-2 overall. 10-2 in the Missouri Valley. One of those 2 losses is to Murray State. They lost at home. Revenge time for Drake.
Wow.
Better to book it.
Road favorite?
Yep.
They've already played this season?
Yep. 2-point win for the Racers at Drake.
Wow.
Pay back time. 5-point win according to KenPom.
I can't pass up a home dog who already won the one game. So I'll say book it.
Okay. BYU laying 1.5 against Arizona at home. Another ranked team on the road goes down.
Surprised at this number?
No, BYU's winning the game.
Yeah, but
prove a pro is a hard place
Arizona 1.5. No,
could, but books are knowing. I think books know people are going to bet. So
we'll just hit refresh. The line is now BYU -3.
3?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, there you go. There's the run.
So
play was on BYU.
Is everybody fine? It's
just
in the game and everything. Wow.
Going to Provo is hard as hell.
Right.
Arizona's on a second road game. They went to Arizona State. They had a hard physical game there. All sorts of.
Yeah, did you see that guy headbutt that guy, which caused all that stuff?
Bad.
Don't headbutt anybody.
How about both Hurleys, though? Both Hurleys need like serious medication. They both need to just chill the fuck out. Like, calm down. Got his team all riled up. His team got completely started taking off his clothes, ripping his tie off. Like his team got all unraveled because the head coach got unraveled.
Yeah, I guess.
Show some composure, dude.
I don't know what that was, but he had to get him off the floor because there might have been riot.
He didn't shake anyone's hand. They didn't shake anyone's hands. He pulled him off the floor, said bye. I mean, it's like, come on, that's Arizona. That's a big rival game. Like, geez. Come on. Yeah, Caleb Love did get under their skin. That's for sure.
Excuse me. I mean, it seems so obvious. You have to take BYU here. This is a bet.
Okay. And then Cavs -1.5.
I mean, the trend is ridiculous. It's obvious. You're supposed to take.
I would prefer them. I like them when they're favored, right? Like I like Boston as a favorite. This is different because Boston's a dog. So it's a different in the term because this has been 6-26-1 against the spread, but it's, Boston's been a dog like 4 times all year. So it's really rare. So that kind of screws with the trend a little bit, but I'm just betting it blindly.
Yeah. Hi, Train. Yes, this is an Iserman jersey. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, Stevie Y. I think this is I guess I'll say bet it. This is an in-game dream, though. This is going to have swings back and forth, right? Celtics. I think the game plays to the over. Celtics first half total will probably go over. There's so many things we talk about on the show a lot. This game will have it all. Hopefully Cleveland wins it at the end.
Favorite thing about today is what?
Another call this morning that we had, and I think it went well. We'll continue to keep you guys abreast of it, but
Southern, Mid-South people, keep your ears up.
Yeah, we're working on little road shows. So we'll come out. We'll bring Vegas to you. You guys come here from wherever you're at every single day, from all over the country, all over the world, essentially. I mean, as far as Croatia to Canada to, Central America, places down there. Favorite thing about today so far has 2 things has been the call, and I went for a walk before the show, and it is officially 72 degrees and sunny.
That's my first thing. Favorite thing about today.
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Me and the dog went outside. I was like, we're back. This is great. So if you guys are somewhere where it's cold and windy,
New England is an ice box. It is. Yeah. It's an absolute ice box in New England right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
It's freezing cold.
it's not here.
It ain't not here. It is officially, my phone officially says 71 degrees right now.
It's
so
perfect.
We are rocking. I walked outside today. I was like, yeah, baby. I was like, this feels tremendous. In the sun. It was, So that's my first favorite thing about today. And my second favorite thing about today, this comes thanks for CBW, who, do you know when the NFL is going to go to 18 games? We actually know when it's going to happen.
Tags me too. So I'll play along and say no.
We're going to have a Valentine's Day Super Bowl. This needs to be talked about. Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2027. This is a full week later than when the Super Bowl normally gets played, which would then accommodate for a 18th game or 18th week to be had in the NFL for these teams to play. 19 weeks, technically 18 games. I cannot believe, I'm just laughing my ass off. My favorite thing about today is thinking about the conversations they're going to be having across the country when you have a girlfriend that maybe like you just started dating and you have to go and celebrate Valentine's Day in some form or fashion, but it's Super Bowl fucking Sunday. How do you do that? Like, what do you tell her? We're going to do it tomorrow, honey. What do you mean tomorrow? We're going to do it tomorrow. We're not doing it today. We're doing it tomorrow. But tomorrow's not Valentine's Day. Doesn't matter. It's the Super Bowl. I'm watching the game. I'm sorry. I'm going with the boys. We're going to the game. We're going to go watch the game.
I don't know. That seems like, it's enough. It's enough. Like, you've taken over Christmas.
Right?
Right. You've obliterated you tried to compete and stuff with the college football playoff and extended another week of games. I guess, listen, flowers.com. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll have Valentine's Day / Super Bowl programming.
Ball.
I don't know.
Lots of them don't do sports. Guys dump their non-sports chicks. She's advocating for you to break up with your girlfriend and doesn't do sports.
She's at Chicago Kristen right here on the show. You can call her. Not advocating anything.
Oh, it's National Divorce Papers Day.
Oh boy.
That is.
Win the title, then a title fight after the game. Yeah. There you go, JC from KC. That's a hell of a parlay right
on
there.
the East Coast. What restaurant's going to be open on Valentine's Day after the Super Bowl? Ain't happening on the East Coast, guys. That's a 6:30 kick. Ain't happening. It's a 4-hour game. The game gets over at 10:30. No one's going out to dinner after the game's over. Not on the East Coast. It works here in Vegas. That works for us. That works great. On the East Coast, it don't work.
There's one team reporting Sunday for pitchers and catchers. It's the Cubs. So the Cubs have to report on Sunday, yes.
To Arizona.
And then I don't know if they have bullpens or what, and then they're going to watch the Super Bowl. Tommy Lorenzo just came in a chat and said the majority of teams will be reporting for pitchers and catchers will be recording before Super Bowl Sunday in that situation, which is fucking absurd. What are we doing, Raji? Stop.
Oh, boy. That really is something else. CBW says that it's 17 weeks for 2027 Super Bowl. Labor Day is late, so the calendar is pushed back. That's why. Huh. Oh. But still, it's on. We were having a Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. Like, I cannot believe that we're having a Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. Like, the ads are going to be crazy because there's a lot of Valentine's Day advertising that goes on during that week. And so now you're going to have the Super Bowl taking up all that airtime. It's going to be hard to get your Valentine's Day messages put across. Okay. So enjoy the 25 and the 26 Super Bowl and just know that in 2027, we are headed towards Armageddon. Super Bowl Armageddon, Valentine's Day combined with the Super Bowl. Have fun. Guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you to Raheem Palmer from The Ringer for stopping on by. You missed any part of the show, you can always watch it or listen to it on replay wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. He is Dave. I am Matt. We are back tomorrow for a Wednesday's BBB.